Kia ora. What is your name and what do you do?
My name's Ella Verhoeven and I work for a government agency.
Okay. Tell me a bit about how you discovered that you had endometriosis.
Yeah, so probably in my early teens, really lucky that I had a mum who knew that there was definitely something wrong, really heavy periods, lots of pain, would pass out in the bathroom, and it was really lucky that she knew a little bit about it and was quite an advocate and had a really good family GP who had since I was born, who managed to put through a referral to a gynaecologist, and so got seen relatively young at about 14, 15.
Wow. And so when you had that first kind of conversation with the gynaecologist, what was talked about, what was offered?
Not too much, probably. They were really reluctant to talk about surgery just because I was still, quite young. Talked about different options, different contraceptive pills that might help, different pain medication, yoga. He was quite big on stretching and yoga, and so kind of looking at that with the end goal of, as I got older, then looking at if surgery was an option.
Okay, so when did you get a confirmed diagnosis?
So I had surgery when I was 20.
What were you told about what was found in that?
So I was told that they found lesions, I guess, in 5 different places, and got all the photos and stuff from it as well. And I guess that's probably all I was told. And then obviously might grow back, things might get worse, and we'll just see how we go.
How did it go?
The first few years, really good, definitely made a difference, and then after a few years, everything started to creep back in. The nausea, the migraines, the cramps, the pain, everything, and that's when started to look at other ways of managing it.
What kind of other ways did you try?
Nutrition, definitely looked at different things, cut out different things to see what would work. Got quite into like yoga and stretching, and then more recently pelvic physio I've found really, really helpful as well.
Tell me a bit about pelvic physio.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Lovely pelvic physio got me to read this book, which I found quite interesting, and I think a lot of the stuff that we know we should be doing but probably slips off, like the mindfulness and meditation and stretching and lots of relaxation, and looking at, I guess, how tight all of our muscles are in our pelvic floor, and then kind of mindful ways to consciously relax, which was really interesting, and things we probably know that we should be doing, but it's until you have someone telling you, it's quite hard to do it.
And was that helpful?
Yeah, really, really helpful, and I still definitely use a lot of those techniques for day-to-day pain management, which is cool.
That's amazing. So do you have to take lots of medication, or is that something that at various stages, I guess, on your journey you have done?
Yeah, so I'm on daily medication at the moment for pain, and then just more as required, which there's times where taking it a lot more often, and then times where I'm kind of in a bit of a lull and seem to be on top of all symptoms, and different things, I guess, make it flare up again.
So how does it all work in with your job? How do you kind of keep all the balls in the air on that?
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I've got a really supportive manager, and I can work from home a lot and have pretty flexible hours, like within reason, so that's been really helpful, so that if it is, if I am having a bad day, I can just say, having a bad day, let me check in a few hours and we'll see how we go. So working from home, wearing comfortable clothes, having a standing desk, I've found has been a really big game changer, just being able to change posture. That's really helped in the last few years as well.
Why is that such a big deal? The having the standing desk?
Oh, I think just when you're sitting and you're so cramped and you're sitting down, sometimes you just need to be able to stand, or to be able to kind of stretch out, or go into a lunge or whatever, just to try and get your body moving again, which I've really enjoyed.
You've got a good manager, you've got various things that you can do now to help you work-wise. Has that always been the case?
Yeah, I've been pretty fortunate. I think probably in the industry that I work in, really female dominated, and I've had really good female managers who've made it really easy to have conversations with really early on in employment and just explain it, and which meant that if it was bad, it's been quite easy to say, oh, it's just not having a good day, and don't actually have to go in and explain it anymore, which is great. There's just that trust, and having that conversation. Like, I've got colleagues with endo that we talk about it openly. I've had an old manager who had endo that we talked about openly. So yeah, I've been really fortunate with managers, and then also with different colleagues around me as well.
What is that like to have that sort of level of support with your colleagues and coming from your manager in your work?
It's incredible. It just takes one big stress off, so that if you have to have a few hours off or the day off because you're just having a flare and actually can't work, you know that there's that trust there. And so when I say I can't come, I know that my manager's like, yeah, that's absolutely fine, understand it, and don't have to feel bad or feel like I've got to explain myself or explain, the level of pain or all of my symptoms, which has just been so nice to have that trusting relationship. Yeah.
Now, you've been doing some fundraising or certainly been doing some fundraising around endometriosis. Tell me what you decided to do.
Yeah, so in December last year, I did the Ironman 70.3, so half Ironman in Taupō. Yeah.
Why?
Great question. I really love a challenge. I really like pushing myself. I've had ACL reconstruction on both my knees. I've had endo surgery, and just really like to think that doesn't define what I can do, and I just really enjoy pushing myself. And my boyfriend really wanted to do one as well, and so we thought, oh, this is perfect. It'll keep us nice and accountable. And yeah, haven't done triathlon before, so it was definitely a big jump, but yeah, really cool.
What are the distances that you had to do and had to achieve?
Yeah, so it was a 1.9k swim, a 90k bike, and then 21.1k run.
And how do you train for something like that?
Yeah, with difficulty. Really flexible training plan. We wrote our training plan together with the help of friends and family, which was awesome. And obviously, missed trainings and stuff with endo is not always the easiest. And learning a new discipline, like I've always done quite a lot of running, but I didn't own a road bike, so and haven't swum in a really long time as well. So it was more just starting somewhere, entering the event, and then figuring out, right, I've got 6 months, I've made it public now, just got to do it.
Yeah, I guess once you go public on it, once you are raising money, then you really have to, there's no way out, is there?
No, there's no way out. Yeah. But it's great, and it was awesome. It just started so many conversations with colleagues, with friends, with friends of friends, with my partner's family and friends, and so it was just an awesome way to start a conversation, and also compete and not really compete, finish. Such an awesome event. Yeah, really, really cool.
You said there were times you had to miss training for endo and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Just talk me through what sorts of situations you were sort of coming up against there.
Yeah, I mean, there'd definitely be times in training where I'd be on a bike ride and just have a massive flare and be super nauseous and be on the side of the road. There was one particular time when we went to Taupō to do over a long weekend to do a training, and that bike ride definitely got cut short, and there's mornings where you wake up and just know today's not going to be the day, so just had a really flexible training plan and just knew that I wasn't there to win, I was just there to finish and do my best, and whatever that looked like on the day and whatever that looked like week to week in terms of training. Yeah.
What was it like when you did get to the day itself? Because clearly that's not a day you want to wake up and think, oh, I'm having a flare today.
Yeah, that was a big worry. Like leading up to it, especially in the month prior, really focused on my nutrition and knowing the things that usually might make it worse, making sure that was on top of all the medication I was taking, was doing my stretching, was doing my breathing exercises, and just that month leading up to it, just putting every single strategy in place that I could to minimise the chance.
Yeah. And how did you go?
Yeah, surprisingly better than I thought I would, which was great. Definitely faster, and I loved it. I really loved it. The swim was incredible. It was a misty morning. The lake was super, super flat. And yeah, the atmosphere at an event like that is pretty incredible. All the local supporters, you run past people 4 times and they're all cheering your name, and you've never met them before, and they're saying, you're like, oh, you're doing faster this lap than the lap before, and yeah, you've never met them before. It's like a whole new community. It was awesome.
How did your endo react across the time that you were doing that training?
Definitely bigger flares. Probably same frequency, but when they would happen, it'd be pain for, say, an extended period of time, or it would be nausea for longer. Yeah, definitely.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. But I think it was just going back to why I was doing it, which was, number 1, to really push myself, and then number 2, to raise money, and raise awareness really as well.
How much money did you raise?
I think it might have been around $3,000.
Fantastic. And so when you were telling people that you were raising that money, what kind of conversations did you have with people about it?
First of all, the people who maybe didn't know that I had endo. I mean, I've never been silent about it. It's definitely something I talk openly about, but there's some people where situations wouldn't have arisen to bring it up. So conversations like around what it is, and maybe they knew someone else who had it, and linking them in, because they might not have known about the different resources that were out there. And then most people just being like, I can't believe you're actually going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you do it again?
Yeah, 100%.
Even though it kind of made the flares bigger?
Yeah, I think the sense of achievement at the end, and the atmosphere, and just the feeling when you cross the finish line, like knowing how hard it was, and like it's definitely not an easy journey to get there, but the feeling as you cross the finish line was pretty irreplaceable, I think.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
So you're not having to do kind of full-on training, I guess, in the same sort of way. But you said you're into running, so I guess you're still doing that. You're still doing yoga and that kind of stuff, and that's still helping your endo?
Yeah, and I'm still doing lots of running. I'm doing the Keep Like Challenge in December, so that's a 60k trail run. Just really like punishing myself. But, still doing that, still doing yoga.
And how is your endo? Are you going to have more surgery?
It's getting better. I was on the wait list for another surgery, but took my name off that. Decided that wanted to see what else I could do. It seems to be managed quite well at the moment. Like the medication seems to be working, and I'm really focusing on the nutrition and the breathing and the yoga and everything. So, and stress levels. So at the moment, keep going like that, and then see.
Yeah, stress can be such a big part of this. It sounds like that's a really crucial thing for you to kind of keep on top of.
Yeah, definitely. Stress definitely makes it worse.
Yeah.
And
so by doing what you're doing, I mean, that's kind of amazing that you're able to have the confidence to take your name off the wait list for the surgery, eh?
Yeah,
cool.
I think like knowing like the surgery was really successful last time, but the strain that it put my body through, and like my lack of immunity afterwards with anaesthetic, and I think there's like lots of different factors to kind of weigh up and decide with, and if I can manage without having another surgery, then I'd quite like to see what I can do without that.
When you first had to have conversations with managers about endometriosis and what that would maybe mean for you in the workplace or doing your job, how did you feel ahead of time?
I mean, I'm a little bit anxious, because it's not, you don't know how someone's going to react, but I think the type of people that my managers were, and I had the conversation really early on in employment, just to say, hey, just letting you know, I have endometriosis, this is what it looks like for me. I keep on top of it as best I can, but there are times where I can't. And so having it really early on definitely helped establish that trust and just being really open about what it looked like for me, and knowing, you know, everyone, it looks different for everyone, and they've, you know, either had their own experiences or they had family or friends who had it, and that it does look different for everyone. Which,
yeah, I was going to say, is it, you know, were you lucky, do you think, that you had managers that had some level of experience with it already, or were they people who'd, I guess, were just a bit clued up and had been able to give you that level of support?
Yeah, I think a bit of both. Some managers who definitely had a bit of background, and then some who didn't, but were more probably thankful for being so straightforward at the start, so that it was said at the start, instead of, you know, 6 months down the track when really, you know, couldn't keep on top, and then there was no kind of further questions, and then it might have been like, oh, if you've been struggling with this, you know, if you've been managing this for so long, why haven't you come to me earlier? So it's definitely anxious going into those conversations because you don't quite know, but from the kind of people they are, just knew that it would be fine. Yeah.
What do you think would have happened if you hadn't had support as a result of those meetings?
I think it would have been really difficult. Because of the support and being able to, say, work from home, because so then I can wear my comfy clothes and have a heat pack, or, you know, take an hour out if I need. Not being able to have those options would definitely make work quite difficult if you didn't have, a team, like a support network around you, I guess, who understood that you needed different things at different times.
Hey, thanks so much. Good luck for the race.
Oh, thank you.
Have a great time.
Thanks.